Chapter 17. Complete wanker. No, the man said. It's not good enough. I want to know how you killed the cow. I have flashbacks, said Thomas, so I can't remember. How can you not remember if you have flashbacks? I would have thought the one redeeming feature of flashbacks is being able to recall exactly what it is you're having trouble recalling. Why does it have to be such a big deal anyway? I'm a spy, all right? You're all journalists. I don't question you. Let's just leave it there. But you're not a spy, are you? Malcolm said, an eyebrow raised. You and I both know what you are. I think we all know what he is, the man said. Tell them what you are, Thomas, Malcolm said. Tell us all who you are and what you do. Thomas glared at him. I'm a spy, he said, and I kill fascist cows. Fascist cows! Malcolm laughed. Is that right? Yes. I've never heard of fascist cows. Thomas leant forward. That's because I've killed them all. Is that during or after you've taken them hiking? The man sneered. The hiking's just a means of distraction. Of course it is, much like this bullshit. He tases them, said Janice. A hand went to a woman's mouth. Not as a fist, because that would be dreadful, more as a means to stifle astonishment. Tasers? Yes, said Janice. He tases them. How the hell do you taser a cow? Malcolm cried. It's a lot easier than cutting them up and braising them over a hot pan, Thomas said. But you can't taser a cow, another said. Not unless you're a portable abattoir. You'd need a whopping current to take down a cow. How the hell are you going to manage that whilst hiking through the Balkans? Damien sloshed his drink around the place. He's got a watch with a special thing in it. A special thing, the man said. Oh, well, that explains everything. You don't have to believe me, Thomas said. Well, that's fucking fortunate because I fucking don't. A watch with a thing in it. I'm sorry, a special thing in it. You'd have to be fucking careful you don't blow your nuts off whenever you tell the time. There's no need to swear, said Thomas, frowning. Swearing is no more than punctuation for the illiterate. I'll punctuate you in a minute. Why are you being so aggressive? All I said was that I'm a spy who tasers cattle. And as I don't doubt your profession, you shouldn't doubt mine. Although I probably should doubt yours, considering some of the rubbish you lot write. The silence returned, this time with a sleeping bag and a small camping stove, which it proceeded to light before settling down for the evening. What did you say? The man whispered. I said that I don't question you lot. No, the bit after that, the bit about our writing. I said that it was less than ideal. You said it was rubbish. No, I didn't. You did. There were murmurs from roughly 15 witnesses concurring, all of which glared. Ah, brilliant, Thomas said. I see. So it's fine for you to criticise me, but it's clearly not acceptable for me to criticise you. I think, Thomas, Malcolm said, eyeing him as though he were only partially visible, that it's about time you revealed your true identity. Thomas glanced at Janice, who looked bereft. Who is he, Janice? The man asked. You obviously know him, which I find extraordinary considering he's clearly a complete wanker. See? Thomas said to her. He's not really as bad as he appears, Janice assured them. He's just a bit, well, misunderstood. Oh, really? The man said, nodding. Interesting. I believe they say the same thing about Hitler. Yes, misunderstood and a complete wanker, another said. Thomas stood. Look, I'm a spy. Not a very good one, admittedly, which is why I am here and not deep inside Siberia. Presumably that's the name of your cow. Look, I'm a spy, all right? If you don't like it, then you can go and do something unconventional with a Fagioni mushroom. None of us believe you, Malcolm said. Least of all me. You know what? I don't care anymore. I didn't even want to come here this evening. Well, I care. You're in my house at my table with my friends insisting you're a spy. You and I both know what you are, Thomas. We both know what you do. And let me tell you something else. The only reason Janice insisted I host a party for you is because she feels clinically sorry for you. Nothing more. And I can see why. You're a sad, pathetic excuse of a man. I prefer wanker, who will never amount to anything. Malcolm leant forward. I agree to this for Janice because she is very probably the most caring and beautiful woman God put together before giving up on us collectively. And for her sake, let alone the rest of us, I insist you tell us who you are, because if you don't, then I will, and I won't be remotely flattering about it. Thomas glared at him, and then the rest of them, except for Damien, who was drawing figure eights in his gravy. When he glared at Janice, however, she had her head hung lower than a 60-year-old Balkan cow's udder. Well, the man said, leaning back, his arm folded in triumph. Thomas left the table and looked at a place that should have been wall. When he turned back to them, their contempt was more palpable than the entree. You've got it all wrong, he said, or rather, very, very right. Glares became frowns, and stares became glances at one another. Who here would like the greatest scoop of the century? He said. Which of you is most deserving? He wandered around the table, feeling like Hercule Poirot prior to revealing the killer, except that there wasn't one, and he didn't have a moustache, nor was he Belgian for that matter. He had their attention, though, and his imagination arrived with a letter of apology, some chocolates, and a large bunch of flowers. My name, said Thomas, is Thomas Caulfield. There were gasps from around the table, and Damien sloshed another drink. And I am, I think it is fair to say, possibly the worst writer in history. Their gasps became vehement nods. And each of you, in your own way, have found my novels more traumatic than a budgerigard trying to nest in a rotating ceiling fan. But the fact is that Thomas Caulfield, the writer, is a farce. There was no response. It's a ruse. Even less. A fake identity. Thomas, said Malcolm. It was a cover, an alias, an alternative identity to hide the fact that I'm actually a spy. All right, Thomas. That's how good I am. I'm such an appalling writer because I'm such a brilliant spy. Right, look, Thomas. He pointed at them. And you all fell for it, all of you. Especially you lot from The Guardian, which is hardly surprising considering you're such a bunch of inbred wankers. The man unfolded his arms and stood. What's more, the whole time you were saying how terrible my books are, I was laughing at you. The man strode around the table. And every time you agreed with those bastard publishers, I added you to Mossad's hit list. The man came closer. And for your information, I personally shat in every one of those sandwiches. The man said, Why don't you shut the fuck up? Before pushing him in a manner Thomas was certain only his mother was allowed to. Who do you think you are? Thomas said. My mother? He pushed him back. A brawl followed. Ironically, although Thomas fought like a wanker, proving just how dreadful a spy he was, his punctuation was admirable, albeit as an illiterate.